Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people. Thank you for joining us today. We talk football. We are here to talk about the Chelsea women's team winning the Football Association's Women's Super League. There hasn't been a lot spoken about this achievement because I mean I personally am got to be honest. I don't watch a lot of women's football, but I try to watch as much as I can whenever I can as well, because we are in a god awful time where where the games are televised. But yeah, I am so proud of them for what they have achieved and what they have gone to do in the Women's Super League. And yeah, it's a testament to what a great manager they have in Emma Hayes, and she deserves all the credit that she can get, because it's simply amazing. 6 times the champions. The league started in 2011, I guess, and trying to win it 6 times after on that is simply amazing. I was just checking the stats, winning it in 2015, then 2017, 18, and then 2020, 21, and 22 is simply amazing. And a lot of credit goes to all our Chelsea FC women's team players, as they have been simply amazing, like the best out of the bunch. And unfortunately, they don't have a Champions League to their name, but domestically they are a powerhouse, and I really wish that they are able to go out there and one day win the Champions League for themselves as well, which would be a remarkable achievement for themselves. I also wanted to take this time to talk about a player in Sam Kerr, arguably the best striker that the women's Super League has ever seen. Sam Kerr, for me, living in Australia, she gives me so much pride and joy, representing Australia in their nation, as well as representing them in at Chelsea. And the way she finishes. I was watching a Twitter feed today about how she was finishing, and to be honest, I got to tell you, um, Romelu Lukaku, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Mason Mount, all you attackers need to speak to this girl and ask her how the hell does she do it, because she is absolutely scintillating. She's simply amazing. uh, and at the end of the day, for me, she's so good at what she does, uh, and what she represents with the club. She's all about winning. uh, it's simply brilliant, and I am so happy to see her at our club, and I'm so happy that she is with us right now. And yeah, it's this is going to be a short stream, but I just wanted to take the time to talk about her, and to give her all the praise that she deserves, because she is simply amazing. At the end of the day, um, Reece James, um, Reece James's sister. The name eludes me right now. She made a switch from Manchester United to Chelsea for this upcoming season, and she wins a trophy as well with us, so which is simply brilliant. And yeah, so we have Dan coming on with us as well. So hey, Dan.
How we doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm brilliant. I was just giving so much of praise to our Chelsea ladies team,
Yeah.
for what they have done, and 6 times champs, and the league started in 2011. It's a remarkable achievement. Then it's
No, they've done brilliantly well, and it's a testament to the investment that obviously the old ownership has put into place there. A number of clubs are really going very deep into investment in the women's football game, and it's fantastic that's happening because they deserve it.
yeah.
These professional sports athletes at the end of the day, and they deserve to have the facilities. They deserve to have the plaudits that the male counterparts have. Shall we
Mhm.
say? Um, So yeah, it's fantastic that they've been given this opportunity, and it's been very tough because there's a number of good women's teams.
Oh yeah.
Even here the Arsenal teams is a very good one, and so that to do have six trophies and winning it as close as it was, it's a testament that it really is a competitive league.
Yeah, exactly. Three times champions since 2019. They've done a three-peat. And also during that time, they have done a domestic treble as well. Uh, it's simply incredible what they have achieved, and a lot of praise also goes to Emma Hayes, because during this time of uncertainty that was surrounding the club, and it was simply like the last few days that you saw that the new owners coming in and all these things getting sorted out, just it didn't help her cause in trying to win this thing again, and she has simply done it, and I'm so proud of them and so happy about them for what they have achieved. And I was also telling earlier that attackers are attackers, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Romelu Lukaku, Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic, Mason Mount. All of these players needs to take a look at players like uh, Sam Kerr, Fran Kirby, uh, on how to assist, how to score goals, because mate, they are doing it so well. You know what I mean? It's just
It's
it's
about that belief, isn't it? And I think you're right there saying about the way Emma Hayes has kept that team focused and has kept them to be able to be competitive, especially under the uncertainty. Because it's right in saying, unfortunately, if you're the new developing sort of investment,
mm,
you're generally the first one who gets hurt when it comes to financial cutbacks. Not saying that's right because it's not, but it's
it's not
true.
right.
And there would have been their exact anxieties of thinking like, is it going to be us? Are we going to end up losing our contracts? The
Mm,
difference kind of being because the game isn't as developed, because there isn't
mm,
the infrastructure that there is, that if Chelsea's players felt that they weren't going to get paid, well,
mm.
they could all go and play somewhere else.
E-
They could, that the worst part of their life would be moving to a different city or another country. But for the women's game players, for them, they're still fighting to get full time referees. Like
mm.
the referees aren't full time within the women's game, so for them, they know that it was an anxiety for them, and just brilliant to keep them focused to get the job done, everything that's going on, and now that they've got the job done, they can go into the next season with new ownership, and that investment has been
Maybe
has
go on
been
to
ring
better
fenced
things.
for them, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and maybe go on to better things, like some of the players that I haven't mentioned, like Bethany England. She has been brilliant for us. Ji So Young, I think Ji is leaving us at the end of the season as well, but she has been a brilliant servant for us. Playing over 200 games, which is a long-term servant for us, which is brilliant. And Pernille Harder. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these your names, but at the end of the day, all of you need a special mention, and also I'm trying to remember Reese James's sister's name, to be honest, because it has eluded me for so long, and I'm trying to figure out right
I
now because
genuinely won't profess to be a Chelsea fan, expert or fan, I'm afraid, so I can't help you there. But no, they've done brilliantly, and it's great. I mean, I'm hearing news from my club, Liverpool, that they're building their own training centre for the women's team,
yeah, they
uh,
should, isn't it?
their own dedicated, training centre. So there's the investment is coming from across the board. All the big clubs are putting this money in, and that's what we need. Someone has to be the pioneer. Certain clubs have to be pioneers and say, we're going to go and make this our thing. We're going to make it important, and then other clubs follow suit. They
By
realise,
the way, I
that
remembered Reese
they want to
James's
be
sister's
involved in
name.
this.
By the way, I remembered Reese James's sister's name, Lauren James. It was
Oh
simply
yes,
not in my head.
I did have Lauren in my head, but I didn't
Yeah.
want to again make a boo boo on that one.
No, no, but at the end of the day, I don't profess to watch the women's game a lot as well. But I just thought, we don't really have a massive following. But even with the following we have, we need to give them a little praise and for what they have achieved, not only for the Chelsea women's team, all across the WSL, to be honest, because of
Yeah,
what they have
Liverpool's
done.
women's team back in the top flight again, back into the WSL. They were champions of their lower division, which is fantastic. And now to come and stay up there, the players are getting their own, names. They're getting their own sort of influence within
Mhm.
the sphere. They're being respected the way that they should be and the way they should have been for the last 20, 30 years. It's just unfortunately, and it's a dirty word in football, but money, I'm
Mm.
afraid. Money talks. And
Yeah,
because there wasn't this clamour from broadcasters, from investors, from the sponsorship deals and stuff to invest in women's football, these clubs they've put it on the back burner, I'm afraid,
yeah,
and it's wrong, but it's true, and we can't hide away from the truth. But
yeah.
what matters now is those mistakes are being rectified.
Hmm.
These big clubs are now putting the money where it should be,
Hmm.
creating a culture and creating a infrastructure for women's football, especially here in the UK. We see Barcelona's women. I mean, that's
Incredible.
frightening how far ahead they are.
They are.
I mean, like genuinely, like it's the first time I saw it. I think they were playing Leon, and Leon, I believe, also an incredibly good women's
Incredible
team.
team, yeah.
Probably the second best team, and the difference in just the betting odds, they were 1 to 40.
Mm.
Like I've never seen it. It was great, but again, that's not a negative. That's Barcelona has took the lead on creating women's football. They wanted to not only dominate men's football like they
Mm.
have done in the past, they want to dominate women's football too, and
And fair
hopefully
play to
that's what
them.
every club will want to do.
And fair play to them as well. Like you see, like how competitive it is, even with the FIFA World Cup for like the women's FIFA World Cup. Like you get teams like USA,
Yeah,
which are not really powerhouses in the men's game, but really big powerhouses in the women's game. And at the end of the day, all these players, they need a lot of effort and everything. And also, I also want to think about, like, how great of a club is being inherited by the new ownership of Chelsea, where you have no
oh,
problems with the women's team, slight little problems with the men's team, but rectifiable problems. It's not
yeah.
shitty issues. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. I mean, this is the thing we can say about Chelsea. Chelsea's women's team's already out on top.
Mm.
Chelsea's men's team, albeit it's 15 to 20 points, unfortunately, between them and the top of the table, they're still a very competitive football team.
Yeah, yeah.
And next season, you should be looking to go into win domestic trophies. The
Mm.
target should still be the League Cup. It should be the FA Cup. It should be trying to go as deep as possible within the Champions League with a manager like Thomas Tuchel,
Yeah.
who I've said, to yourself before, is a bit of a hot take, but I believe he's a very, very good version of Rafa Benitez or an Unai
Yeah.
Emery. And that's no dig at him. He's
No.
someone that you want at a club if you're playing if you're playing cup football.
Mm.
And that's where Chelsea is at the moment, I'm afraid.
Mm.
The
100%.
league probably should be put to one side. Maybe that'd be disagreed with, but
Mm.
the mountain that Liverpool has to climb now, I don't even want to think about the mountain that you guys are looking to have to climb. It's
Exactly, man.
crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. And that's just like it. I'm just like, that's what I was just thinking about. Like at the end of the day, as a club, it's not only about the men's football. At the end of the day, as a club, Chelsea Football Club is in a great position with the women's team. At the end of the day, the men's team needs work, but the men's game is so competitive at the moment. It needs every team needs work. I believe even Liverpool going into the summer will look to strengthen as well, because City would do the same, and so on and so forth. And the youth setup is pretty good. Also, the academy is very good, putting out constantly very good players out. You see it in players like Amanda Broha right now at Southampton, Conor Gallagher, Billy Gilmore, players like Tariq Lamptey, Mark Gurhey. It's a testament to what actually Roman Abramovich has built and gone on to build as well. If Todd Bowley, I think he has right intentions for it, because nobody invests 4.5 billion without without right intentions, because he can't take the money out just like as it was like during the Glazers or anything of that sort, because we have that clause in written into the agreements as well. And I hope he keeps on investing for these women's teams. I hope he
And
does this.
and that's it. You're in a position of strength, and like
Oh
you've
yeah.
just mentioned that City are in a position of strength,
Mm,
um, and so are Liverpool.
mm,
But so are Chelsea's women's team. They're in a
mm,
position of strength, and when you're at the top, when you've reached the pinnacle, when you're at the top of the mountain, you have to stay there. That's
mhm.
I never. It's bad management to fall down that mountain. It's
100%.
a case of you've made mistakes.
It's a
Chelsea's men's team
mismanagement,
has
isn't it?
made mistakes.
Yeah.
They've bought the wrong players. They've bought players that weren't necessary. They've bought players where potentially the due diligence wasn't properly carried out.
Mhm.
Um, and that's testament to the number of players who have played very well, but not consistently. Hakim
Yeah.
Ziyech in Ajax, wonderful,
What?
fantastic. Came
Mm,
to the Premier League, it's not worked out.
it's
Timo
not
Werner,
suitable.
yeah, Timo Werner, fantastic. I quoted him as the German Torres at one point because when he
Mm,
was coming to Liverpool, I couldn't wait.
yeah.
I honestly thought he was going to be brilliant, and he's got it. But maybe this isn't just right for him. Romelu Lukaku,
Yeah.
again, fantastic player, but he may not be able to do it.
Yeah. But as I was saying, like, yeah, I think Dan was attacked by his little daughter. But yeah, and as to what Dan was adding from his side of things, I believe, like, you know, the investment that he is going to make is going to help the club a lot more as well, going forward. The women's team, they need to be strengthened with the players who are leaving in the summer as well, because Emma Hayes needs to be given all the support in the world for her to achieve what she has achieved, to keep on going forward, because she is simply impressive, and she has done something, holding the fort down, talking with even talking with the fans. She is in our I think on our board of trustees or something of that sort as well, and I'm happy that she is in that position, because she has done so much for this club, and it's simply amazing, because uh, I just don't have enough words to mention how good she has done, because it, I absolutely adore what she has achieved, and she needs to be back moving forward, and she needs to get more things. And at the end of the day, I just look at it as Todd Bowley is very privileged to get a club like Chelsea Football Club in a day and age, because people have to invest a lot more to achieve what we are achieving right now, albeit the men's team isn't doing that great. But yes, yes, we are behind, but we are not as far behind as like a Manchester United or
Yeah,
Tottenham or anything like that. It's just a matter of the correct investment and the correct acquisition. That's where the women's team have really shown us how to do things in the men's team, and they with their correct acquisition of players like Sam Kerr, and so on and so forth. you know they have changed the game fully, and I really wish that they can go on to win the Champions League as well, because that trophy has been eluding them quite a bit. It's difficult to play against the big girls, you know what I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah, of
in
course.
Barcelona. But I really hope that they are able to go and do it one day, to be honest.
Absolutely. And I think you touched on a really good point there, Anstey, about saying what Chelsea has done off the field. And this is why I don't have this. There's no bitterness as a Liverpool fan. Like in the past, you've built this legacy, and it's not just based on buying players. The
No.
investment off the pitch through Roman Abramovich, the old ownership,
Mm,
has been fantastic. You've built a state of the art training complex. You've identified the foundations which are important to building good clubs.
mm,
That this is where Liverpool are now. Liverpool have built a £50 million training complex. They've adapted that to be world class. They've got hydrotherapy, you name it, it's all there. The stadium's being expanded, the new stand, everything about it. These things are important. That
mm,
it's not just players that that brings success.
Yep.
That you need to build success everywhere within a club for it to
Mhm.
be sustainable. Any club can win a Premier League
Yep.
once. Any club
Once.
can win a Champions League. But to be consistently in finals and pushing to the last day, all the time, it takes the ownership, it takes the backroom staff, it takes the facilities, it takes everything. And I think
Exactly
this
right.
is why we're seeing certain clubs, who have fallen down that pecking order because they've forgotten what was important.
Mhm.
They forgot what got them there in the first place. United didn't get to where it was by buying the world's best players and spending insurmountable amounts of money. It was because it was a world class stadium. It had a world class sort of, youth system that found not one, not two, not three, but seven players
Mhm.
who were all Premier League standard, top class, world class players
World
in
class
some
player. Yeah,
respects.
world class
You
player.
know, it's unheard of. I mean, you look now, Liverpool have found two players out of our academy. It's that limited. We think that these it's and Chelsea's found multiple. They've not
Oh
all
yeah.
made it to Chelsea. They've not all made it, but they've made it to the Premier League.
Oh
Liverpool's
yeah.
done the same. We've had a number of players who've come through. We've given them a chance, and then they go on and have a career perhaps somewhere else. But it just proves that if you have that in place, it's worth its weight in gold. I mean,
Oh,
to
100%.
replace a Reece James, a Mason Mount, what's
It's
the
gonna
money on
cost
that?
us a
What's
lot
that
of
going to cost?
money, isn't it?
It's hundreds of millions of pounds, isn't it? And you've got them there if you can get them young, train them properly, get them in the system that works your way, and before you know it, and that's what's happening at Chelsea. That's why they've won so many trophies, is
Yeah.
because they're getting people in, they've got the right facilities, the right coach, and they've got the right players at the last bit, and then they win trophies, and here they go. And then now it's you've won that trophy. Now it's about looking at the next one, winning or trying to win a European trophy
Mhm.
to take that to the next level, because it's
Yeah.
a progress is a treadmill. It's not a piece of string. There's no end.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
end.
Exactly right, and that's where I wish them all the luck and all the success, because I believe they have truly deserved it, to be where they are right now, and I hope Sam Kerr will stay with us for a long time, and all the other players as well will stay with us for a long time, because Emma Hayes needs to be with us for a long time in order for us to achieve it as well, because she is a fantastic manager, and it's a testament to the club, and it's a testament to Roman Abramovich's legacy as well. Even if he's leaving us, um, he leaves it in good hands. At the end of the day, he's done something right, and he can be proud of what he has achieved, at the end of the day. And nobody in any football club can and look back and say, you know he's done a bad job. Everybody would be like, he's done all right,
No,
isn't it?
no. There's on a footballing aspect on that alone.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't you
purely
can't fault
footballing.
him. If you keep it purely football, he's been an incredible owner. He's been a fantastic owner, because it's not just been a case of players, more players, more players, more players.
Mhm.
You've had a route. There's some football things I didn't agree with. He never gave enough time to a number of managers.
No,
He
that's
was
things
very
that we don't, we even we as a fan base kind of criticize as well, but
yeah.
sometimes it has paid off as well. And that's sometimes that's what you get in a single owner thing. You don't get those checks and balances at the end of the day.
I believe that's the only thing that Chelsea, when it comes to sustainability, and that you've not given. I think that's the only position that Liverpool potentially has over Chelsea at the moment. It's the fact that it's a case of the ownership's a constant. Everything else is a constant, but the manager hasn't been at Chelsea. That's the only
No.
thing I would say is that this is where it's important. It's definitely in the women's game to keep Emma, keep her
Yep.
there, keep her in that job. She needs to be on a 5-year contract, because
Yep.
you're building something. You
Yep.
can't build any long-term sustainability by changing managers to do it over and over, because they bring a new style. They like certain players. They like certain attributes. They like certain ways things are done. And if they're successful, if they're given the tools to be successful, the chances are they'll remain successful.
Yeah,
It's a proven fact. It's a
yeah.
proven fact across football.
Funnily enough, Dan, Emma Hayes has been with Chelsea since 2012, and look what she has gone to achieve, isn't it? So,
Exactly. It proofs
and
in the pudding. It's right there. Everyone can see it, and Manchester United could see it. I understand that Alex Ferguson, as an entity, is a one off. I
Mhm.
doubt anyone will ever manage a club for as long as he will. That I don't think that'll be beaten. But you need to give 4 or 5 years. You need to give them the new long term, shall we say, enough
Yeah,
time. 6, 7, if you can. 8 years, fantastic. As long as the progress is being made, as long as you're competitive, as long as you're putting yourself in the equation for winning trophies, that's where you need to be. You
yeah,
can't always win everything because it's impossible. No manager has won everything every season, but all the great managers, have been in the equation year after year,
yeah.
and Chelsea have got all the ingredients to
We have
stay at
everything.
the top, to stay at the top of women's football for years. And
Mhm.
now the real question is to the other clubs, what are you going to do about it?
What you gonna do about it? Yeah, to be honest, and we got all the ingredients to be on top of the women's game as well as the men's game. But are we gonna like? I have no problems with the women's team because they're gonna be okay, hopefully, because they will be all right. It's it's like a challenge. The men's team needs to step up.
Yeah, a lot of things has to happen within, because as I pointed out, the main difference is you've allowed Emma Hayes 10 years
Yeah,
to build this. No, you're lucky to get 2 years as a Chelsea manager,
a
and
men's team manager.
you've had
Jesus Christ.
success, but
Yeah.
not sustained success. You've had the Champions League this season. You may end up with nothing.
Hmm.
So it goes from winning the
Not
biggest trophy in
nothing. Got
football.
we got the World Cup and stuff, but not
No, well,
exactly nothing.
you put yourself in that equation, and if you're honest, you'd have expected you to win that, wouldn't you?
Oh, 100%.
It's
Like
not. I'm not saying it's
I've
not a success, and it's not a because when Liverpool were in there, I
it's
wanted us to win it.
oh no,
I wanted us
100%.
to win that trophy, and it's not kind of a dig to sit there and say, oh, it's not a success, but those are two trophies which are an absolute necessity, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
If you're going to win a Champions League, this is a these are kind of bonus trophies. These are two
It,
trophies where it's like you can't have the energy of, oh well, it's only the Super Cup.
no,
No, you're playing the Europa League winners, and
yeah.
trust me, they want to win it. The Europa League will want it more because
By
for
the
them
way,
it's an opportunity to go. We beat the champions of Europe. We beat the Champions League winners.
yeah,
It's a massive opportunity.
and also these Europa League winners beat Juventus and Bayern Munich as well this year. And this is what I mean. Like at the end of the day, for me, I am disappointed with the men's team this year, and I think I'm right to be disappointed in them as well because they haven't achieved the heights that they set out themselves as well. And I
Absolutely.
believe they are disappointed as well. And I hope that they have the bit between their teeth to do what is necessary to achieve even more next season. But I want them to take a hard look at the women's team. I want them to take a hard look at the women's team and say, these girls are giving it their all and done magnificently.
Yeah.
And they are a true testament to how much you need to invest in energy levels, invest in the mentality, and invest in every other aspect and every department on the game in order to achieve what they have achieved, which is simply brilliant.
And you're right. I mean, it's quite funny you bring that up. Actually, I was listening to Talksport, and they brought up the idea as to whether or not Chelsea's performances recently have been attributed to the ownership situation within the men's game.
Mm.
And Martin Keown was given an opinion that he believes it does, that the players will be having that in their mind and they will be concerned because it's a livelihood and all the rest of it and the contract situations and whatnot. And the thing is that conversation is kaput.
Mm.
It's shown instantly by your women's team being able to go out there and win. You're not winning it at an encounter. It's not like, oh, but the Chelsea women's team are 30 points ahead of everybody else. No,
No,
it's a competitive league. You won it on
we
the last day of the season.
exactly
You know,
right.
so that argument to say, oh well, I think the performances are down to what's going on off the pitch. Nonsense,
And
nonsense.
I believe
Because the women's team are able to cope with it.
exactly
Their mentality is we're going to do our job, we're going to train right, we're going to work hard, we're going to put out a performance. When the going gets tough, do you know what we're going to do? We're not going to put our heads down. We're going to go behind. Did you go down? Was it 2 goals in the final? Was it 2-0?
Yeah, we went down
And then
twice
come back.
during that. Yeah, and won it 4-2 as well.
And you're going to come back and we're going to win this. It's that mental fortitude, that mentality to sit there and say, I can't manage what's going on off the pitch. I can't manage who the ownership's going to be. But what
Exactly.
I can do is do my job, what I'm paid for. You know,
Exactly
the
right.
men's team are being paid hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. I can
Probably
only
more than
imagine the women's
probably
team
more
is
than the
nowhere
women's
near
team,
that.
to be honest. Yeah,
I assume one player, could be wrong, but one player could probably earn more than the women's team could earn.
never know. You
You
never
know, you
know.
never know. But if I go and have a look, I bet it's very close. I bet the
Yeah.
wage disparity is very, very close because unfortunately, so that should be more. You're not paid at a club to do the club a favour.
No.
They're doing you a favour by paying you for your talents. You're earning 200, 250, 270,000 pounds a week to do a job. No excuses.
No.
You know, you can't make excuses. So that men's team needs to look at what's happened over at the women's team and go, if they can do it, why aren't we?
Yep.
Why
Exactly.
can't we? We're all internationals. You know, you've not got a team full of kids. You've not got a team. Oh, but this. They're all top class European and South American internationals in your club.
Yeah.
You know, they're all. You've got World Cup winners, European Euros winners. You've got everything that you would need.
We
There's
have
no
everything.
excuses.
No
excuses. So that
And
women's team should be massively proud of themselves because they're
oh,
setting the standard at Chelsea right now,
I
not the
am
men's.
really. I am really proud of them, to be honest, and hence why I wanted to do this stream. I don't want to go on like for about an hour and a half, like 30 minutes, to be honest, because they need their props, to be honest, for
Oh,
what they
100%.
have, and that's why I really wanted to do it. At the end of the day, they deserve it. They deserve every single praise they get. They deserve it, and as you said, I believe that the men's team do get a little bit more distracted with the news outside as well. They might get a little bit more distracted because the cameras are on them a lot more than the women's team.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But that doesn't excuse of the fact that you have to be a professional. That doesn't say that Connor Cody can sneak in at the 96th minute and score a fucking header. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me at the end of the day. But yeah, external factors might contribute a little bit, but at the end of the day, I believe our players are right now. They're just thinking, oh, top 4 is pretty much done. We are in the beach, and we don't care. But
Starts again next season now.
yeah, that's what they must be thinking. But at the end of the day, I really want these players, if they have any heart, if they have any desire to turn up on Saturday and give a great game to Liverpool, because Liverpool ain't coming to be no bitches. You know what I mean? They're coming there to win.
You
They're
got to think
angry.
Liverpool are going to be angry. That Premier League, is out of their hands.
Yeah,
They're going to be disappointed, but they know that they're 90 minutes away from lifting another trophy, and they are
exactly
coming
right.
with all the energy. Like, it's going to be a big game, and
100%.
Chelsea need to get their head right for that match.
Exactly right. Exactly
And
right.
they can take this heart. They can take heart from the women's team. They can take that. I think they should be looking at that and going, right, they've done their job. Let's do our job.
Exactly. And if you can win that FA Cup, and that would be the perfect send off for Mr. Roman Abramovich as well, ending the way it began.
Yeah.
That's
of course,
it.
it would be almost poetic, wouldn't it?
Exactly. And that's all I asked him. And even if they fall short, then I want them to make Liverpool earn it. You know what
Show
I
the
mean?
pride. Show the pride. Work for it. Put
Work
the
for
effort
it.
in. Don't fall apart. Show the mentality. If you do go 1-0 down, be
Go
coming
back.
back. Come and ask the questions of Liverpool. This is Chelsea Football Club. You know, you're not a mid-table
We're not
minnow. You're
mugs.
not. You're not. We're not. Disrespect to say, you're not Brighton. Who Brighton would go there, and their fans would be happy with whatever happens because they've had a wonderful time. They've gone to an FA Cup final, and if they win, amazing. It'll be the most historic moment in the club's history. If Chelsea, they've set the standards. Their team has set the standards by winning Premier Leagues and winning Champions Leagues. Now, this isn't like, oh, you've won a raffle ticket to be here. You've earned it.
Yeah,
So
we
now,
have earned it.
go that bit further.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And that's what I mean. Like they need to do their business, and I hope that they can take some inspiration from this inspirational women's team. And yeah, before the end, again, I want to stress it as much as I can. Well done, well done, and well done, because
Massive
that's
props.
all. And that's all I can say. And all you ladies who has contributed for all the successes, we are so much proud of you, and I hope I can get to watch you a lot more than I watch the men's team as well, because you deserve everything you guys get, every prop you get, because you guys are simply amazing and brilliant at the end of the day. I hope Sam Kerr can start for us on the FA Cup final, because that man, she knows how to finish, bro. You know what I
If I
mean?
see a
And
Samuel Kerr as a new signing on there, I'll be asking questions, Anthony. I'm afraid I'll be asking questions.
yeah, yeah,
It's not. It won't be right. But listen, massive, massive respect to them. I'm hoping that the Liverpool women's team next season will be, firing, ready to take this promotion to the WSL. And I hope that
100%.
they can be there to give you guys a real push for the money because, they're Liverpool. They wear a Liverpool shirt. They wear a Chelsea shirt. It's
Yeah,
equal. It's the same. You should,
we are the
you
team to
support your
beat as
club. You
well.
support all of them.
And we are the team to beat. And yeah, and I think the Chelsea women's team would welcome the challenge as well, and because they have shown that, and that's why I'm massively proud of them. And yeah, in just saying that, I think it's a great point to end the stream as well. Thank you everybody who has joined us today. Goodbye, God bless, and good night. And thank you, Dan, for joining us, mate.
Cheers later.
Thank you.